Hi everyone, I'm Ruth and I'm a fluency improvement coach. Day in and day out, I interact with a lot of students across the country. One thing that I frequently get asked is how do I improve my fluency and how do I improve my vocabulary? Of course, when you add new words to your vocabulary, you sound more sophisticated and confident. Today, we are going to look into 10 words that you could add to your communication to sound more confident. So, before we begin the session, I would like to tell you how I improve my vocabulary, what strategies I use to improve my vocabulary. The first step is whenever I stumble upon a word, be it while watching a video or reading something, when I stumble upon a word, I if the word is suiting me, if I'm comfortable with that word, then I repeat the word a couple of times and then I put it on my phone. I store it on my phone, and the second step, an important step, is I understand the meaning, the pronunciation, and the usage. So please do not skip this step because it is important. Because in English, a word might have a couple of meanings and the usage might differ from word to word. So it is quite important that you understand the pronunciation and the usage of a particular word. The third step, which is the most important step, is practicing the word. So I practice the word with my family and my friends, and of course with my students as well. So that is the perk of being a coach. So I practice the word at least 4 to 5 times. I push myself to use these words a couple of times a day until I become really comfortable using that word with anyone and everyone. So you can also follow this step, and this step has been successful for me, so I'm sure it will also help you. And this is no magic. You need to practice and it has to be consistent, right? Now let's get into the lesson. The first word for today, and the word is zealous. It is not jealous, it is zealous, which means that it is an adjective, and when you can use it when you want to say that somebody is passionate about something, somebody is completely devoted and they are committed. So then you can use this word. For example, you could say he is a zealous player, which means that he is completely committed towards his game. The second example, her zealous attitude brought her the victory. Right? The second word for today is fiasco. Fiasco means a complete failure or a disaster. So we do not say it for natural disasters, but for a disaster or a failure that is created by us and which is also humiliating. Right? So the first example is the party was a complete fiasco because it was poorly organized. The second example is act quick or else it will be a fiasco. The third word for today is toil. It is a verb and you can use it for someone to, for someone when they work really hard. They put their heart and soul into something, and when they work, then you can say they toil a lot. The example is I toiled day and night to complete this report. One more example. All his toiling paid off and he was successful in life. The fourth word for today is pacify, which is a verb. So when you have to calm someone down or you have to restore the peace, then you use the word pacify. So let's look into the example. It is quite difficult to pacify a crying child. The second example. Few husbands think it is easier to pacify their wives. Impeccable. It is an adjective, and when you want to say something is flawless, it is completely, spotless, it is accurate, then you say impeccable. I love her impeccable French. Or you could say her PPTs are impeccable. And the sixth word for today is apparent. Apparent. Apparent means when something is quite obvious, something which is clearly understood. Probably when you look at the first time, it's quite clear. You don't have to put in a lot of effort to understand it. The first example is, it is quite apparent that she is happy. The second example, it was not apparent as to why they rejected him in the interview. The seventh word for today is thrive. Thrive, which means that when something is prospering really well, or there's a growth and it is developing really well, then you say as thrive. For example, you can say businesses thrive on loyal customers, or you can say children thrive on good food and love. The next word is extravagant. Extravagant, which means having a lavish lifestyle or spending habits or living beyond what is required and necessary. For example, she always sent extravagant gifts for her children. Her lifestyle was so extravagant. The ninth word for today is pragmatic. Pragmatic, which means that when you are quite practical in your approach, quite logical, and you understand what is required to do in a situation. For example, you can say, my boss is quite pragmatic and considerate. The next example, my mother always gives me pragmatic advice. The 10th word for today is petrichor. When the rain falls on the dry ground, you get a distinctive and a pleasant smell, which is called as petrichor. Let's see an example. Besides the petrichor, there was no sign of the rain. I love the smell of petrichor. So with this, we come to the end of this session. I'm sure you would have learned a lot from this session. Hope to see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Bye-bye.